Hello and welcome to In the Blink of an Eye with Benjamin Valdez. And today I find myself here at South Texas College Mid-Valley campus in Weslaco, and have a special guest with us today. This is, by the way, our first show after many weeks of quarantine. So we're happy and we're grateful that we're here at South Texas College and we have this opportunity. And I'm going to let my guest introduce herself. I know her name is Sandra Charles Garza. Sandra, thank you for having us here at Mid-Valley campus at South Texas College on behalf of In the Blink of an Eye. Tell us a little bit about yourself, Sandra.
Yes, thank you, and welcome to our campus here at Mid-Valley. My name is Sandra Charles Garza, as you said, and I am a lecturer here at Mid-Valley campus, specifically for the Program of Human Resources under the Business Administration Department.
Well, Sandra, I know we've all experienced what we have gone through in this last few weeks and months, actually, this pandemic, how it's affected the world and our country. But we're grateful that it seems that here in Texas we've been blessed that we didn't get hit as hard, and a lot of businesses have been opening again. Pueblo Tires has been open from day one. We were considered an essential part of the community, but I believe that everybody's essential, right? But Sandra, tell us, how did when you all heard the news as a faculty and so forth about having to close down and shut down, how did it affect South Texas College? Can you tell us a little bit about that?
Well, at the time that the pandemic was announced, it was a week before spring break, so a lot of students were in the mode of taking that break. For us, we knew what was it going to be like for students to return back, and that them not being able to have the same resources that they typically have at the college would maybe present some challenges for students, and or the level of motivation that they would have in studying or not having those resources that typically they would have on campus. So for us, it was concerning because we knew that that might affect performance for students in the classroom or their student success.
Well, I think at all levels of education, that concern echoed, whether it was public schools, high school, elementary, and personally, I know it's affected my family in that regard because we have young people, whether they're nephews or grandchildren, and I've heard some of the stories about how they're having to deal with homework through the internet and having to send it back to the teachers. And I think the teachers, nobody was prepared for this, right? It's unprecedented. So I'm sure you all, had some kind of a powwow, how we're going to deal with this. And so have you seen a positive trend as far as the student goes and their classes in spite of it all?
Yeah, so one of the nice things about the college is that they've invested a good amount of resources in professional development for our instructors and professors. So the Office of Professional Development has, and our distance learning department has put together good systems in place so that when things like, for example, maybe just even a natural disaster comes or something like this is unexpected, but you still need that continuity of education services. So with instructors that are able to pick up where we left off from a traditional classroom setting into an online platform, that was where we were able to confidently move from that traditional face-to-face onto the online platform, and students would be able to log on into the learning management system and continue there with the coursework delivery. So that was good for us, that we had those things in place, and instructors at that point did have to work through those challenges, as some maybe prefer that face-to-face setting, and students do too. And so with that, we did use other technologies that a lot of companies are using, such as Zoom or other Web 2.0 tools that allow us to be able to video record.
Skype.
Right. And so with those things in place, then we still wanted to have that sense for students to be able to feel connected with their instructors and their professors, and with other students. So there was a lot of, I saw even on social media where a lot of jokes were going around where you had the students in the classroom and some were, but for the most part, it went well, and we hope that this is going to be something that's going to carve a new pathway into the future as it relates to technology and how we use technology for education.
And what Sandra just shared with us, I think again, maybe your company or you as an individual, this has been a learning curve for all of us as well.
Yes.
But like you said, there could be other things down the pipe, hurricanes or things that interrupt our normal day of life, normal day living. But we're thankful that South Texas College went into action. I'm sure the students and the parents were all very grateful of your ability to cope with this. Yeah. One of the questions that I have for you in regards to, and you mentioned it right before spring break, and then, well, we all had a spring break actually, and maybe we can talk about this in our next segment, but, when it comes to certain graduating classes and so forth, and we'll talk more about, in particular, some of the programs that you're involved with the HR department. But now more than ever, I think people realize they need reliable transportation. And we've learned so much. We've heard a lot of information and a lot of misinformation as well, a lot of political back and forth. But on behalf of Pueblo Tires and Service, we just want you to know that we're there to help you to have reliable transportation, and we'll do everything we can. And at the same time, save you money. We do have that up to 24 months to pay, no credit needed. And as far as education goes, and what South Texas College is doing and what she just explained, we're very thankful for that. And I'm sure, again, there's thousands of parents here in the Valley. You all have grown so much and continue to do a marvelous job. And again, we're just proud to be here today. Mm-hmm. And this is our first live interview, well, not live, but our first interview it's pre-recorded actually, but it airs on Saturdays at 6:30. It's almost at 5.2, channel 1240 in Spectrum Cable. But this is our first on-site interview since this pandemic. So if you realize some of the opportunities we turned down, Sandra, you'd be proud of yourself.
Well, we thank you. Thank you very much.
Yeah, but again, and we've met some wonderful instructors, and I understand you're I've met all kinds of chairs. Mm-hmm. Now, I heard a rumor that you're an assistant chair. Is there such a thing?
Yes, it is a thing, and it's not a rumor.
Okay.
Yes, so we do have our program chairs to lead our program.
Can you hold that thought, Sandra?
Sure.
I'm sorry, but we got to take a little break, and we'll keep that thought. We're going to take a little break, and we'll be back in the blink of an eye.
En Pueblo Tires and Service entendemos el momento difícil que nuestra nación y el mundo está enfrentando. Estamos abiertos y continuaremos sirviendo a nuestras comunidades siguiendo las guías para proteger a nuestros clientes y personal. Juntos podemos mantener la economía del valle avanzando. At Pueblo Tires and Service, we understand the difficult time our nation and the world has before it. We are open and will continue to serve our communities following guidelines to protect our customers and staff. Together, we can keep the Valley's economy moving forward.
And we are back in the blink of an eye. Gracias por acompañarnos. Aquí estamos en un abrir y cerrar de ojo. We're speaking with Assistant Chair Sandra Charles Garza. Sandra, tell us about this Assistant Chair title.
Yes, so the Assistant Chair provides support to the Program Chair. So, for example, each division within South Texas College has program chairs, and then if we are able to meet our enrollment and we have a good level of registration for our classes, then of course that requires additional support. So that's where the assistant chair role comes in, as I do to help our program.
Let me interpret what you just said. In other words, the assistant chair does all the hard work and makes the chairs look good, right?
That's correct.
Okay, let's get that out of the way. Okay, so I know you mentioned that you've been here how long? I'm sorry, how long you been?
4 years.
4 years.
Yes.
So it's I know you probably have seen a lot of situations, but I was telling some of your other co-workers and fellow associates of yours from the other interviews we've done. It seems like they were all students here at one time. Were you a student here as well?
I was, yes. I graduated from South Texas College with my associate's degree in human resources.
Okay.
And then I decided to pursue my bachelor's degree here as well, in Bachelor's of Organizational Leadership.
Okay.
And then I went on to pursue my graduate degree as well after that.
Well, congratulations.
Thank you.
And now you're here.
Yes.
Okay.
Yes.
Well, Sandra, again, as some of the things you shared that makes us all feel better. And again, I say that because we're part of the community. You know, what you do, what we do, we all serve the community somehow or other. We help people with their cars, and we try to help them save money. And you with the educational aspect, which is so important for our communities, for the young people of today. And technology has really taken off. I mean, it can be a little bit of a, how should I say, challenging because, you know, when I was growing up, we didn't have any laptops or, you know, we played with marbles and tops. And now some of the students, some of the kids, everybody's on a laptop. Everybody's got some kind of an electronic gadget, which can be good, but at the same time can be, I think sometimes maybe it can be distracting. You know, like driving and texting is so dangerous today. And I know South Texas College, from my experience, you all offer so many different educational programs, cyber security, you know, and HR. Now, HR, I know is very important. It's one of the key departments at Pueblo Tires and Service. So as far as HR goes, I mean, it's endless. It covers so much of a spectrum of the, you know, hiring, and unfortunately, you know, parting ways with people and, you know, situations. So you want to tell us more about that particular program and the, you know, the level of, you all have these, online, you know, bachelor's
Degrees
and so forth.
certificates.
So give us more about the HR, because since that's your field, your specialty.
Sure.
And tell us about that.
Sure. Now, before I do, though, I did want to go back to what you mentioned about reliable transportation. So we have campuses here at Mid-Valley, at Pecan Technology and Star
Right.
Campus. So I do get inquiries from students from time to time where they tell me, "Ma'am, I'm lost. What do I do?" And I tell them, you know, we do have these resources at South Texas College, tutoring, learning centers, our library. You know, even though we do offer face-to-face traditional and online classes, I tell them it's worth taking the drive and going to these resources on campus and taking advantage of what's there. So reliable transportation, very much needed. When
Exactly.
technology cannot help, then you do need that face-to-face interaction. Pick up a book from that shelf, you know, read and open and you know, learn and educate yourself.
Well, and that's important, because I think at the end of the day, you know, even with this pandemic situation, you hear about, you know, you need a stronger immune system.
Sure.
You know, you hear so much. I mean, that's one of the things I kept hearing about, the contagious aspect of it, washing your hands, you know, social distancing. I think now we're at the point where it's safer now. You know, you and I are talking here, but we feel safe. We feel confident. But you still have to follow some of those guidelines, of course. But I think it's a personal responsibility. Just like if you're a student, you know, it's up to you how far you can go, how much work you put into it, how much effort. It says time and effort takes, anything that's worth of value requires time and effort. And again, we're with Sandra Charles Garza,
Yes.
Assistant Chair here at Mid-Valley Campus, South Texas College. And you're the HR Department Extraordinaire, right?
Yes, I would like to think so.
Okay.
So yes, the Human Resources Department program has been around since 2009, and so we're happy that it has continued and had great success. A lot of people, when they say, what is human resources, they think that it's a corner office in a business where you just push paper and, you know, follow orders. And some employees think, if you get called from HR, you're in trouble. You're in trouble.
You go to the principal's office.
That's
Yeah,
right. And so you get the slap on the wrist. But, you know, human resources has evolved over time, and that's what we teach here at the college. Our classes are centered around benefits and compensation, so that's really important in business. And also laws that have to do with human resources, HR management altogether, which is an umbrella of all the specializations that fall within human resources. And other things like HR training and development, employee relations, employment practices. And so quite a bit of courses that we teach under the HR program, and I'd be happy to explain more how those go.
Well, you mentioned laws, and those laws keep evolving.
True.
And, you know, now after this situation with the pandemic, and you hear about thousands of people unemployed, and how's it going to affect them? And, you know, they apply for unemployment, they're going to get paid by the state, but then the federal government's going to send them some extra money. But I think it's going to create a whole new world in the HR department moving forward.
Yes, it is.
You know.
Especially with remote workers.
Right.
How do you handle a person's having to work from home,
Exactly.
having them, you know, work in an office? So,
Right.
yes.
And you know, and maybe, I don't know, not so here, but some companies, and you know, when you start to hear about this in some of these federal guidelines and laws that you had to post on the wall, how employees had certain rights and certain things, there might be people who say, you know what, I never want to go back to my work, I want to work from home. I mean, there's going to be all kinds of, you know, aspects of this laws, and they're going to be put in place.
Right, and so this is what HR does, is they meet with owners of companies or senior managers, and they say, you know, these are the needs, this is what's going on outside of the, you know, the external forces is what we call them, and then adapting to change, where, you know, you have to build different policies or shape policies of work to maybe have those flexible schedules or
Okay.
those, you know, balance the work life that presents itself.
Right. I like what you said, external forces. Sounds like we need the help of Superman. But you know, we're going to take a break, and we'll be back in the blink of an eye.
En Pueblo Tires and Service entendemos el momento difícil que nuestra nación y el mundo está enfrentando. Estamos abiertos y continuaremos sirviendo a nuestras comunidades siguiendo las guías para proteger a nuestros clientes y personal. Juntos podemos mantener la economía del valle avanzando. At Pueblo Tires and Service, we understand the difficult time our nation and the world has before it. We are open and will continue to serve our communities following guidelines to protect our customers and staff. Together, we can keep the valley's economy moving forward.
And we are back here in the blink of an eye. Again, I'm here with Sandra Charles Garza, Assistant Chair, but she does all the work at South Texas College Mid-Valley Campus in Weslaco. Folks, we want to thank you again for giving Pueblo Tires 48 years of serving the community. In Spanish, hay un dicho, Sandra. Dice que el que no sirve, no sirve. And you all are serving, and we thank you for what you do. Pueblo Tires is blessed to be able to help folks with their cars. And like I said, more than ever, make sure your car's in good condition. If you have any doubts, you know, by the way, if you come to Pueblo, you don't even have to get off your car. We offer you curbside service. Our guys are still following the CDC guidelines. We'll continue to do that for your safety and ours as well. Okay, so look us up on shapuzi.com. Sandra, Charles Garza. Now, Charles, is there any relationship to
Ray Charles?
Ray Charles? No?
Not that I know of.
Okay.
But that is a question that get asked.
Ask your husband there. Maybe. Okay, Sandra, tell us more about what do you want to highlight in this interview before we log off today.
Yes, thank you again for the opportunity. So the Human Resources program offers, I wanted to highlight what it is that we can do for students that would like to attend the college. Our program is centered around business and the department within business, human resources. We would like to prepare our students to be ready into anywhere from an entry to mid-level position in the workplace. When I say entry to mid-level, it means that we offer certificate plans here, two specifically. One of them is for payroll assisting, and the other one is for recruiting assisting. We do actually have another one called Human Resource Assistant Certificate, and then our top dog, we like to call it, is our Associates of Applied Science degree in Human Resources.
Okay.
So any one of these certificate plans or degree plans helps to prepare our students for the workforce and helping to or helping those businesses have the qualifications or the competency that is needed in the business world. So our students, you know, we focus on preparing them that way.
You know, I had and thank you for sharing that, because again, that's very little information, and we hope it's of benefit to everybody out there listening today. Especially, you know, I know I mentioned this at the beginning of our interview. You mentioned spring break and all that, and what about graduating classes and even is there an opportunity for enrollment during these times?
Yes, of course. So the spring term has already ended, and we are about to begin our new summer term June 1st.
Okay.
We have several summer terms available depending on how fast a student would like to achieve a course within the summer. So for example, we have 4 to 5 week terms, which begins at June 1st, ends around July 7th or so. And then we have another option where they can begin June 1st and end their class around August 10th. So that's about give or take 8 weeks.
Okay.
So we do offer students opportunity to catch up if they would like to during the summer, or if they want to take a break and drive to the beach in a reliable vehicle, right? And right, and then they could do so, and then resume in the fall of 2020.
You know, I noticed here recent days from the high school side, I saw some cars driving around the neighborhood with balloons and in a very organized and safe way, where some of the students were in the back of pickups graduating. That's how they did their ceremony, I guess, or to celebrate.
Right.
Is there something similar like that going on?
So what they did is some students decided to do the banners, or you stick the kind of like a little ad, or not an ad, but like I've graduated in 2020.
Right.
And so we had some students that did do that on their own. There wasn't anything widespread throughout the college that they did. They are anticipating that we will have our commencement ceremony in the fall. So they're waiting for the hoopla to happen,
right?
As they would have had a graduation ceremony.
Okay, now we keep hearing about, phase 1, phase 2. I think Governor Abbott talked about phase 2 a couple of days ago, about opening more businesses and so forth. Have you heard anything in particular about when classes might start resuming?
So for the summer, they will still be online 100%. For the fall, they're waiting to see, as the phases begin to develop, how they will approach the fall classes.
Okay.
We do have some programs, however, in the summer. For example, welding, our law enforcement, fire safety type of programs that they do need those hands-on courses, because you're working, like our automotive, for example, they're working with machinery. So they've implemented social distancing guidelines in the classroom, or they're scheduling students to come in intervals throughout the day, so that there is not more than 10 in the classroom at one time. So it is important for safety and for health that we too follow the rules, but still affording students an opportunity to continue learning in the classroom, because it's very much needed that way.
Are you and some of your colleagues actually spending a lot of time in the classes now, doing your work? And I know maybe when it first started, you were all at home, right? Everybody was under shelter lockdown, right?
Yes.
But ever since now, you spending more time here at the campus?
Somewhat, and what happened was the timing, because we're already towards the end of the semester.
Right.
So on May 4th and the week after May 4th, we were allowed to return to campuses.
Okay.
And so it's been very limited basis, working from the office if we should need to. And most, from what I know, is instructors have their home offices that they're able to work from home as well.
Right. Well, Sandra, it's been a pleasure. Nice to meet you. Sandra Charles Garza, assistant chair, but we know better now, right? She does all the hard work. And we want to thank you again on behalf of Pueblo Tires and Service, and the community thanks you. And again, this is something that is unprecedented, and we're all going through this. But I think there's hope. I read a book one time that said that as long as we don't forget what God has done for us in the past, we have nothing to fear in the future. And Sandra, may God bless you and your work and your colleagues, and keep you safe. And folks, continue to practice the safety guidelines. If you go out there, if you have to go out there, go to the groceries, go to wherever you need to go. But if they're asking you to wear this, wear it. and wash your hands, practice the social distancing. That's what we're doing at Pueblo Tires to keep you safe and us safe. And again, on behalf of Pueblo Tires and Service, we want to thank Sandra, Charles Garza, and South Texas College for giving us this opportunity to bring this positive message to you that, hey, we're going to get back to some kind of normality, maybe in a different phase, but, with people like her and people like you out there, positive and ambitious, we can succeed and move forward. So again, we thank you, and we just want to say one more thing before we log off, that nobody loves you more than Pueblo Tires and Service, and nobody cares more about you in the safety areas than Pueblo Tires, along with the community. Everybody cares, but we love you, and nobody loves you more than South Texas College as well. Ready? Nobody.
En Pueblo Tires and Service entendemos el momento difícil que nuestra nación y el mundo está enfrentando. Estamos abiertos y continuaremos sirviendo a nuestras comunidades siguiendo las guías para proteger a nuestros clientes y personal. Juntos podemos mantener la economía del valle avanzando. At Pueblo Tires and Service, we understand the difficult time our nation and the world has before it. We are open and will continue to serve our communities following guidelines to protect our customers and staff. Together, we can keep the valley's economy moving forward.